take for lawful order.
How long did it take the State Fire Service to get to the scene of the fire? No, let us wait. It is easier to pass box.
No,
it's easier to pass the box.
Let's understand the nitty-gritty of this issue. Fighting crime, welfare, security and welfare of the people, one after the other.
Yes.
1 minute.
Okay.
Security and welfare of the people. Newton, self-preservation is very key. That is why you find a policeman that is supposed to be policing you and I. He has more security than you and I. A police commissioner is posted to a state. The first thing he would want to do, he would want to preserve, in preserving himself, he's so distant from the people he is to protect. But if you have, like what is obtainable in America, a situation where a policeman is investigating a crime, he tells you, I know where to go because I have been in this hood all my life. And so, but here, you bring a man from Sokoto to police somebody in Erumukokware. How do you expect that man to know the in and out of Erumukokware? You bring somebody from Ekakpamre to police somebody in Eket. How do you expect that man from Ekakpamre to police Eket?
I tell you,
because he knows not to nothing about Eket.
If you are talking about the way and manner an organization is run, is an entirely different thing. If you want more recruitment of policemen from a particular area and then posted to the same particular area to execute their functions, it's a different thing. From establishing fundamentally. Now the question is this: what is the duty of the police? That is one. Why do we even need a police force? That is two. Why is there insecurity in the land? That is three. By the time you answer these questions, the answers
you want me to
the answers do not lie in establishment.
Let me answer them with one. Just one answer. Let me just give you one answer. It's only in Nigeria that you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. For the past 50-something years, we've had a Nigerian police force that have never been able to solve the insecurity problem in this country, and yet you say maintain the status quo. People are saying decentralize this structure. Let state take responsibility. Possibly let local government take responsibility. The way it's been done in other part of the climb, you're saying in other climb of the world, you're saying no. That we should stick to what we have because we are never ripe for any good thing because you don't want status quo to you don't want to change the status quo. And then also some people that are clamoring for the status quo to be maintained, mind you, it's all about the fund that comes to their pockets.
All right,
the SIGs.
We have to take a break here. I'll take another break. The governors, we're ready to hear the governors, but just before we bring in the governor, Ostvic 1 says, I think we should not play politics with safety and security of the people. Kunle Braden says, state police could be a solution. Who knows? But we have a no-going-back government. Sierra Law says, let us restructure the Nigerian police force to make it independent and professional. Osvig 1 again says, we are never ripe for anything progressive. At independence, we were not ready for independence. When shall we be ready? And Doye says, good question. Okay, well, let's hear those governors speak about for and against state police. We'll come back and look at the legal side of things.
Assuming Imo State is a nation, is a country, so I will not have police. And yet you have nations in Europe that are less than 2 million people. I don't know of any state in Nigeria that has less than 2 million people here. So every state is a fragment of a nation and must be so treated if this nation can move forward. I believe strongly that the federating unit must be given its due place. Our problem, second problem in Nigeria is over-centralization of political power. And that's why we suffer from what is called economic kwashiorkor. In other words, the principles of kwashiokorism, where you have the big head and very tiny legs, and so the economy is moving every time like it's going to fall. Now, until we fatten up the legs, which is called the federating units, then Nigeria is not good enough to be married.
When we talk of failed states, one of the features of a failed state is when you have an arrangement in which laws are hopelessly inenforceable, or those who are constitutionally charged with the responsibility to enforce law and order are so hopelessly incompetent in enforcement of law and order. We can say so much about the deficit in the police system, but I am not so sure that once you reorder the Constitution and create state police, that everything will simply disappear. And I think the best example for me is the fact that with all the criticisms we have against the National Electoral Commission, when we now compare it to the State Electoral Commission, which is decentralized, the way in which some of my brother governors have managed local government elections shows that if you were to put police force in the hands of those governors, they will become state thugs.
Now, that's food for thought. I'm sure Fred Zako will be itching to bite on that and run with it. But there was something he said earlier in the conversation. Subsection 216, subsection 4 of the Constitution. That's what he quoted. Section 215 rather, says there shall be an Inspector General of Police who, subject to Section 2162 of this Constitution, shall be appointed by the President on the advice of the National Police Council. But subsection 4 says, subject to the provision of this section, that's what he quoted, the governor of a state or such commissioner of the government state as he may authorize on that behalf may give to the Commissioner of Police of that state such lawful directions with respect to the maintenance and securing of public safety and public order within the state as he may consider necessary, and the Commissioner of Police shall comply with those directions or cause them to be complied with. Hold on, don't scream yet. Provided that before carrying out any such directions under the foregoing provisions of this subsection, the Commissioner of Police may request that the matter be referred to the President or such minister of the government of the Federation as may be authorized in that behalf by the President for his directions.
That was why I said you can give instruction, but he must take
the underlining verb there is
he must
may.
take directives.
May, and not shall.
Nigeria may.
The Commissioner of Police may, depending on the nature of the instruction. And
That
that's why I
because-
said,
because
once
he's
it is a
not
lawful,
under the control
once it's a
of the
lawful
state governor.
instruction, he does
He's
not
not under the
have
control of the state
any
governor.
recourse
We
to
shouldn't beg
anybody.
this question.
But hold on, did you listen to the Edo State Governor?
Yes, I did.
You know what
No, his
happens with
argument-
local
there are
government
two-
elections
there
in
are-
the state?
The
There are two
argument
different
of
issues.
the, of
There are
Governor
two
Somole
different issues.
is sharp
That is
and
so-
apt.
that-
And I'll
no,
tell you,
okay, let me allow you.
I'll tell you, the causes of insecurity in Nigeria are essentially not as a result of centralized police structure. That is basic. It is a result of bad governance, as a result of corruption, as a result of unemployment, which itself is as a result of bad governance,
As
as a result of poor orientation of
Also
people,
as a result of
no morale,
lawyers not
and rest
doing
of
their
it.
jobs.
I'm coming. And everybody in governance not doing what he's supposed to do. And why is this so? Because the rule of law in this country is not kept as it should be. If there is enforcement of law and order, if there is professionalism and independence of the police force, whereby a governor himself can be arrested for any serious misdemeanor in office, why shouldn't the governors be talking about removal of immunity from the constitution, and instead they are clamoring for state police so that they will now enlarge their empire, enlarge their coast, and become semi-gods in their own entities? The governor has amply said, and I wanted to repeat it again, that which state in Nigeria, apart from very few, where the governors had held local government election that can be adjudged to be credible?
Let me
Which
let
state?
me let
Okay,
me
let's
let
answer
me
that.
let me answer.
That's a challenge.
The local electoral commission, state electoral commission is a totally different thing from policing. The state electoral commission, you have maybe like 10 persons appointed as by the governor to man the commission for a period of time. And in most cases, when elections are conducted, you have ad hoc staffs, people who are recruited probably even few hours to the elections. And so you have a lot of them who are there not because of the process, but because of their personal gain. And at the end of the day, cannot even be queried. Unlike what you see in LASMA, there are no of LASMA officials that have been sacked I know of some that have been handed over to the Nigerian police for prosecution. I know of some that had been reprimanded. I know of so many that have been arrested for misdemeanor, for collecting bribe. It's a process. It's an ongoing process. And you see, because of the success, even governors like Oshomole now have road traffic
management organizations similar to LASMA, right?
Similar to LASMA in Benin, in Edo State. You know, because of the success of this semi-state police that we believe we are not right for. They have, it's a totally different thing altogether. You see, those days you say we're not right for governors coming from the state of origin, and today we are ripe for it all of a sudden. The issue here, he identified that the problem of crime in Nigeria is not because of the federal structure. We are talking about solutions and not the problems. We should be looking at the solutions. What are the solutions? The Nigerian police is too far from the people. So why don't you take policing to this? If you say it's not a force, it's a Nigerian police, then it should truly be decentralized to be able to relate to the people that it's to police. And one of the reasons they have adduced, like he had said, is that this police will be, that the governors are already emperors and they need police to fortify their empires. Was it the governors that sent police to kidnap Ngige when he was a governor? Because the federal government knows that this is what they do. Every election time, they will use the Nigerian police structure, the Nigerian police, to hound the people, to hound state governors that are in opposition party. And so they are scared that, oh, if we allow these people, they will do to us what we do to them. But I tell you, Nigerians are not fools. What Nigerians are saying, it's not just the governor. Nigerians are saying that we need also empower us to take security, to at least so that this issue of security will be a thing for us. And also, it will be another platform. Let me answer this. An issue you have been raising. There's an issue you have been raising that you can employ many men in the Nigerian police, and you should post them to their state of origin.
No.
But the issue is that the moment the governors recruit them into the pool of the Nigerian police, it is no longer within the ambit of the state.
So you now want the one that will be within the ambit of the governor to use at his whims and caprices?
Wait, like we have agreed that you give security votes to a man, you need to give him where the security votes should be used.
Gentlemen,
so,
there's another side of his argument which we are forgetting.
Okay.
The legal structure of Nigeria.
That's where I'm coming to now. That is where I'm coming to.
The legal structure is such. The legal structure is such that for you to have state policing, you have to go back to the foundation of policing in Nigeria. And you have to amend that aspect of the constitution which does not allow for any other police force apart from Nigerian police
section
force.
Section 2.
What about the judiciary? What about the judiciary? Is the judiciary
the prison service?
Yes.
The judiciary is not ripe.
Let's not
claim the judiciary is ripe.
Like your legal structure,
like the man that
we're not ripe for independence. We're not ripe for transformation. We're not ripe for even restoration. That the president
at the end of the day,
we're not ripe for steady power supply.
Now, at whose cost?
Because all of you say we're not ripe for anything. That's what I'm saying.
But
we're not ripe for
between 1999 and today. Between 1999 and today, that we have spent close to 14 years of democratic experiment. Do we still call it experiment? We have been on it. Because it cannot continue to be nascent.
Because you're not
you should be asking the governors to do what they are supposed to do.
What?
The state and local government. I'm coming. The state and local government joint account. Why are the governors not agitating?
Let's not digress.
No.
Take one issue.
These are all issues that border on security.
No, let's not digress.
Why are the governors not cutting off their security vote?
Ready for
the judiciary?
Governors will tell you that even that security vote that you give to them. I have been privileged to sit down with some governors, and they tell you that this security vote, if I tell you how I spend it, this Otumba comes from this area and says he's in charge of this local security, and so he needs money for the boys. He will write down.
Is that a sign of good governance?
Let me finish, because these boys that he says he's managing, after all, you listen to late Adedibu, that you're talking about security vote. These so-called boys, if I unleash them on the state, they will be insecurity. So for me to keep them, I need this money to keep them. And so you need to keep these boys. You need to even create environment, create opportunity for you to transform
What
them.
you need
Do
is
you
to
know what some
create
people
employment for the people.
do? How do you
And
create
that's all.
employment if you leave everything at
If
the
you
federal
cannot
level?
create employment, what are you doing in government house?
How do you create employment when you leave everything?
It is-
Everything that is good,
it
we're
is
not
an
right for
indictment
it.
on the
Everything
governors.
should be from
It is
the
an
federal.
indictment
Okay.
on those
No.
in power.
All right,
If
why
they
they-
cannot create
Gentlemen.
employment for the people.
Gentlemen, let's just say we go ahead with state police. Let's just assume that we go ahead with state police. Is the judiciary ready?
Let me take a bite. The judiciary has presently
Fred.
constituted.
The judiciary, as presently constituted, is not ready. I'll tell you why. You have to change the issue of prison, for instance, no state governor, no state government can establish prison. Is not within the constitution. Is liberals. What is it called? Is
Exclusive
exclusive.
legislative
Yes, is under the exclusive legislative list. That is one aspect of it. What of funding? During the last agitation by workers, when they were asking for minimum wage of 18,000 naira, how many governors came up to say that they are able to pay that? What of funding? Now, you now go and recruit more people into the police force that you are not able to handle. What Nigerians and what I expect the governors to be asking for is to be mounting pressure for true federalism. No.
So we shouldn't
Look,
create
no,
jobs.
look, liberal.
Just
True
like the
federalism
kwashiorkor,
without
just like the
true-
kwashiorkor that
without true federalism,
Dr. Rochas Okorocha
without true
referred to.
federalism,
You
creating
have
state
a bogus
police
federal
will be an
structure at the
anarchy,
center.
a complete anarchy.
Okay,
Meanwhile,
Okay.
you
All
cannot
right.
discipline
Will you allow
a
me?
judge.
Allow me.
Okay, time
allow
is
me.
Under
almost- we're almost out of
the
time.
judicial system, you
Allow
cannot
me.
discipline a
Okay,
judge
we
without
will
going
have
to the
to.
federal.
Allow me.
Gentlemen, we will have to close because
No,
we have some other people
he
contribute.
took a bite of the cherry. I need to also take a bite.
30 seconds.
Maybe you
Yes.
eat apple
And
this
I'm telling you,
time.
30
You
seconds.
know, you were talking about how ready is the judiciary. Do you know before now also some people, if not that we have state judiciary now, some people will be arguing that we are not ready for state judiciary. As I talk to you now, they will tell you, no, we are not ready for it, we are not ripe for it. Psychologically, we are not ready. But I tell you, is a reformation that we're talking about. You need to reform the structure so that we'll be able to progress, so we'll have strong legs to work with.
Okay.
You have the judiciary.
You still have your closing statement. Is
You
that your
have,
closing statement?
No. You have the state judiciaries. Also, apart, like I said in my opening statement, apart from the state police, also give more responsibility to governors. Let us have state prisons.
All right. Thank you. Hold it there. Hold it there. And give your closing statement now. 10 seconds.
Good.
Beginning with you.
Good. What is important is a complete restructuring of the existing Nigerian police force in the line of professionalism,
have been
independence,
restructuring
independence, and to ensure that rule of law and order is enforced.
Thank you.
That is what is important.
What we have been restructuring this Nigerian police force, we have consistently restructured, and it is not working. Why not try new alternative that we have never tried before? And like one of your Twitter said, perhaps it might work. And we are not just saying perhaps it will work. We know it will work because it had worked in other climes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Liberals Shama, for coming. Thank you, Fred Nzako, for coming. And you are there. Let me see if I can rush through some tweets here. Davaigbe says, it's not like we are not ripe, but we lack the fundamentals. No national database, but we can run a national and state police. Hiflia says, Rochas Okorocha's police oddly seemed uncomfortable with his Oga's pronouncements. Ostvig1 says, could it be a way of avoiding to spend the security votes by the northern governors that they are opposing state police? Soa Omotola 1 says, governments who will want to manipulate state police know that the state will be ungovernable. People will riot. Nigeria police can act like FBI who take over crimes like terrorism. Diola Talk says, state police will surely do us good. I so much share in the views of liberals. Poet 0707, we should bear in mind that not every state can afford a state police force. Apo Quarter says, we should by now have gone beyond state police. We should be talking about local government police. We can't continue to crawl. Finally, Double Sam 20 says, Nigeria is not right for state police. We may be in the next 15 years. First, we need a reorientation as a country. Sorry, I can't take any more tweets, but I want to thank you for sending them in. Maybe if you start a little early, we'll be able to take all of it. But then, thank you for letting us be a part of your evening till we bring another edition of the program. Have yourself a good night. I'm Nel Taigwe.